Hello everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are in the world. It's a nice day here. I just got back about an hour ago. Alyssa and I went up to Volcano, about half an hour's drive from here, and it was absolutely spectacular. I'm going to have to put the clips together and do a little editing, but I'm really excited to share that with y'all because it was absolutely phenomenal this morning. And Lissa confirmed that because as a professional photographer, the light was absolutely amazing. We had perfect light. I mean, you know, I'm not a photographer, but I could even appreciate how perfect the light is that we had just because I'm always trying to do Instagram and videos, so I'm learning a little bit about it. But yeah, it was just absolutely spectacular. We probably, I think we figured out that, I forgot to look at my phone early enough in the compass, but I think we figured out that we peaked out, we got up to about 8,800 feet. And you could definitely feel it. It was a good little walk. We had plenty of steps, and I got a little company here today. But anyhow, I don't know. Somebody was asking me recently, and I've just thought about this. I have people ask me from time to time about dealing with cravings. And I, like a lot of times, there's things that I wish I could explain better, and I learn things from my subscribers and the people that make comments and whatever. And be able to go into a little bit more detailed, or almost be able to, you know, give you a little bit more real help than that. But I can only generally kind of tell you things from my perspective and things I've dealt with. And I haven't dealt with cravings very much. To be honest, almost from day one, we were talking about that last night. I don't know. I'm either hungry or I'm not hungry. I find something to eat, I don't, but I don't necessarily have particular cravings. Now, I guess I have some kind of generalized cravings where, you know, like everybody, like sometimes you have cravings for sweets. Don't really have to worry too much about sweet cravings because, you know, eating fruit all the time, eating fruit pretty much all day, every day, it satisfies that sweet tooth. Now, the fruit in the beginning, it's more of a mind thing. It may not satisfy people 100% in the beginning just because you're used to having the fake sweet stuff instead of the real sugar. So, you know, there's times, and also too, I can kind of relate it to maybe you do need to use, you know, if it's sweet, for instance, eat some of the gourmet stuff in the beginning, like I see all this stuff all the time, like the knockout, you know, like the mock cheesecakes and all the mock desserts and whatever. They're all good, and I recommend them, you know, especially in the beginning if you're having cravings for sweet. But I don't crave that. Dessert's not my thing. I get all I need from the fruit. But back to what I was talking about, it's not even about the specific craving. It's just about dealing with cravings in general, as a general subject. And I really believe, and I've said this before, I've probably said it in a video, is that you just can't let yourself get hungry. I've talked about that as a, you know, problem solving technique, or something to look at when you're having any sort of problem on this lifestyle, is not letting yourself get hungry. If you keep yourself full, and I'm not saying you've got to overeat or keep yourself stuffed, but just not letting yourself get hungry. As soon as you're getting any sort of hunger pangs, you satisfy them with something good, because I'll say over and over and over again, when you're full, you might when you have you might have a craving, but if you're full, you can fight that craving a lot better, a lot more efficiently. So just make sure you're eating, and don't try to hold out, even if it's not time to eat, even if it's not the best even if it's not the best idea, it's not optimal at the time. When you start feeling hungry, eat something healthy. Get rid of that hunger. Don't try, especially in the beginning, and if you're struggling, don't give yourself a chance at temptation. I mean, just don't allow the temptation, because if you're not steady on this, if you're still a little shaky, new to it, you're probably not going to be that effective at fighting off the hunger pangs. I've been doing it for a while now. I don't get cravings in general anyway. I can be a little looser with that, because if I go out somewhere and I don't prepare, I don't take food, and I can't get food, I don't have quite the energy I would like to have, but it's not going to lead me to eat something terrible or eat something that I'm not supposed to eat. I'll just probably be a little bit underfed and I'll wait till I get to a good option. But for a lot of people, that's not going to happen. You know, people that are still early in their journey, you're going to ride by that drive-through, and that temptation is going to be a lot stronger when you're hungry. You know, you still cerebrally, I'm sure you still miss some of that food. You still, you know, you're still like, there's kind of a mental craving for some of that food, but it's not going to be near as hard to resist the temptation of turning into that drive-through or dropping by the store and you know, getting that comfort food at night. So yeah, it's just as simple as it gets. You know how I roll. I'm not into real deep explanations and whatever. If it is a specific thing, just try to, you know, here as we're working on recipes this week, I'm kind of taken from that, because, you know, sometimes when you're creating a recipe, you'll look at something that's made in the traditional way and you just start thinking, how could I simulate that, or how could I make a mock version of that? You know, if you have salty cravings, look for things that you ate or that you enjoyed that were salty in the past, and try to simulate them as much as possible. You know, you've got tricks. You can use celery. You can use a little Bragg's in recipes if it's something like that. But you can satisfy that. If it's textures, a lot of times, you know, you can satisfy yourself by changing up the textures in your food. Is sometimes for me, and like I say, I'm just telling you some of my weird little psychology that works. Sometimes even if the taste doesn't approximate something that I remember or something that I've craved, a certain texture will get me there. So, but I'll still go back to that one. Just don't let yourself get hungry. Let's just keep it as simple as that. I tell you what, if you can learn something from me or just listen to one thing from me, do it. Do that. Don't let yourself get hungry. After that, if you're still getting, I think that'll take care of about at least 75%, if not more, of your cravings. But if you're still getting cravings and it's very specific and there's some detailed stuff, then go try to figure out some more, or try to figure out what's happening, or but in the end, it all comes back to, I totally believe, being hungry. If you're hungry, the temptation's just going to be there more until you get a little bit more experience doing this lifestyle or eating like this. But anyhow, just my 2 cents worth on cravings. I don't know, maybe it'll help. Like I say, I just try to always make you think about the psychological aspect of it a little bit, because it all comes from in here. You can know, I mean, there's people, I know people that don't even listen. I told you guys, I'm senile. I drank for 30 years. I don't retain stuff very well. I forget shit all the time. And I talk to people. I've talked to people online. I've read things that people have written. I've followed people, just trailing them just to see what they're going to say. And I have found people out there that they got 100 times the knowledge of explaining and talking about, well, this is this because of this, and they speak with such surety, but they ain't doing it. They can sit down and spit the science like they're a professor, but they ain't doing it. So as far there's education and there's application. You know, you got to apply it. It ain't good enough just to know a long list of why this does that and all the scientific, and this interacts with this and this is going to do that, and if you do blah 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 and all these big words. In the end, it's all really simple stuff. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and I hope you are having a beautiful week, my friends. Love you guys. Peace.